This is the current calendar, National Audubon calendar for October, and I was looking through it, and this is Charley Harper's wood duck, and I looked at that immediately. I said, "That's our wood duck." And Charley Harper is dead now, but there's quite a story on how he ended up on the cover of our Ohio Natural Heritage book back in the late 1970s. And we had a committee. I was chair of the editorial committee, and we were in Columbus with a meeting one time, and the director of the Cincinnati Museum of Natural History, and historic there in a big railroad building there in Cincinnati, DeVere Burt, personal friend, was on that committee. And then sometime he said, for the cover of the book, we were getting kind of close to getting ready to get a cover. He said, for the cover of the book, would you think it'd be appropriate to have Charley Harper offer something? And he just said, by all means, sure, jump on it. And so he contacted Charley, and the next meeting we had in the committee, he brought a little mock-up of effort that Charley Harper suggested might work for the cover of the book. And Charley, being in Cincinnati, had this, and DeVere, well, he brought it up. What it amounted to was a picture of a raccoon near a body of water playing with somebody's leftover fishing bobber, kind of those red and white fishing bobbers that float, and had this raccoon kind of playing with it in the water, and that was Charley's idea. Well, we brought it forth, laid it there on the table. Well, one of the members of the committee was Ed Hutchins, who was also director, personal friend, director of the Metro Park District there in Columbus. Well, as soon as he saw it, he just exploded, and never in the world, no way, no, how? Well, the trouble with that was that there was an epidemic of, rabies? Yeah, it was a rabies epidemic going around, especially Franklin County. And a lot of them, the rabies was involved with the raccoons that were common in the Park District. And they'd spread out of the Park District up the northwest corner of the county, all the way, Arlington and north, to the city, and it was in potentially dog trouble, and they had a quarantine on dogs for the northwest part of Franklin County that couldn't leave them out at all, had to have them on a leash, tended at all times, and dog lovers were just screaming about this whole quarantine bit, and they were blaming Ed Hutchins of the Park District with his raccoons for causing the trouble. And so when Ed saw the cover, just no way. Well, I was chair of the committee, and I sort of hated to see the idea of losing Charley Harper as an artist for cover, and I became somewhat, I guess, poetically arrogant, and I thought, well, I'll make a little diagram and suggest this might work for Charley. And the diagram was, one of the success stories in bird situations there in Ohio over the years was the humongous recovery of wood ducks. And they were almost wiped out in Ohio back turn of the century or sometime. And the Division of Wildlife there in the state had figured out some way to help wood ducks along with we just called them rocket boxes that were kind of a stovepipe stuck on a post that they could drive into the water, vertical stovepipe, in ponds and small streams, and it had kind of a pointy top on it as a roof, and we called them rocket boxes, and they did too. Well, they had a phenomenal response with wood ducks. They took to them, they nested in them, and they were very effective on bringing back wood ducks. some other folks said, well, there were other reasons wood ducks returned, but nevertheless, the rocket box, well, I was crazy enough to suggest this to Charley Harper, a variation of that with a couple rocket boxes and a wood duck in a pond as an alternative to his raccoon. Well, the next meeting we had, probably a couple of weeks or months later, Charley Harper had talked to DeVere Burt, and DeVere told us at that meeting we almost lost Charley. That was just about enough to tell him things weren't too serious with us and we were just going to forget it. But he talked Charley into hanging on. And so Charley came back with an option, which included a wood duck. He picked up on the wood duck and used that wood duck model, and then underneath it, it had a beaver sort of coming up underneath the wood duck. And it's kind of a crazy combination, as he said. One of those events probably wouldn't happen very often, if it ever. And we saw that. He just said, go, 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 Charley, go for the wood duck. Well, here it is, October 2017, National Audubon Calendar. There's our wood duck. He got a beech leaf in there instead. But that's the same wood duck. It's on our cover of Ohio Natural Heritage. And we're always so grateful. And we became real good friends with Charley Harper over the years. And
you actually had an artistic contribution then.
Well, then it's our wood duck, huh?
Jerry and Eric and all the artists in your family should be proud.
We hope so. Yeah.
Didn't you show him a drawing of the wood duck, that you'd made a little drawing of?
Well, I made a little wood duck drawing with rocket boxes in a pond.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
if Charley Harper had said no, you'd have been stuck with your illustration.
Well, no. Who knows what would have happened?
Right. But I think you did well.
Charley
Harper's the man.
Charley's the man.
Yeah.